Within the past hour, we learned a 2-year-old may have been swept up in this tornado in Albany, Georgia.
It is total devastation and destruction. We have multiple neighborhoods that have totally been removed.
Right now, search and rescue operations are underway to find that missing 2-year-old. A lot of homes have been destroyed. Albany is just north of Valdosta off Interstate 75. 3 people died in that town alone. We have a number of crews covering these deadly storms. We begin with Ethan Calloway in Albany.
And Bruce, what we're really learning from this news conference today is just the magnitude of crisis they're experiencing here in Doughtery County, Georgia today. This comes after a tornado that hit this community on January 2nd, which they call underreported. They say it got very little media attention, but it was a massive crisis for this community. And now just weeks later, they're experiencing the same thing all over again. As one of those county officials put it in that news conference, there are parts of this community that have been completely wiped off the face of the earth, as you heard there. And he says there are only a few parts of this county now that have not been affected by this severe weather. So those search and rescue, search and recovery efforts continue here today, and they say their resources could not be stretched any thinner. They are asking for help anywhere they can get it on the local level or the national federal level, something they say has been a challenge. One of those county commissioners talked in that news conference about how challenging that has been getting FEMA assistance. Take a listen.
I have to say this. We've been begging for the help of FEMA, the assistance, the boots on the ground, the reasons why federal government exists to help in situations like this. We aren't asking for money right now. We're asking for resources. And to get caught up in the bureaucratic red tape at a time of this amount of human suffering is disgraceful.
And the numbers right now remain the same as they were last night, but as that county commissioner put it in that news conference, it will rise. He says that with certainty, the numbers will rise. What we know right now, a confirmed 4 people dead, at least 50 hurt as a result of this tornado. And again, they say they need help desperately. So how do you do that? If you want to volunteer or give money, they're asking you to reach out to community agencies, county agencies, anything, the Red Cross. They say really right now they need feet on the ground, people to clothe these victims, feed them, give them shelter, because right now their resources are stretched about as thin as they can be. We're live in Albany, Georgia. Ethan Calloway, Channel 4, the local station. Bruce.
Ethan, what were some of the specifics officials mentioned this morning?
Well, Bruce, you heard that 2-year-old boy, the search for the 2-year-old child, I should say, is on right now. They still have not found that child. That one of those officials says he was up in the air with some others today going over some of these damage assessments and trying to assess, again, the damage, saying it is some of the worst they've ever seen in this part of the state of Georgia. As far as that child goes, again, they are still looking for the child and say there could be countless others still missing. Again, just speaking to the magnitude of the crisis here in Albany. Bruce.
Thank you. Breaking in Columbia County. We learned in the last 90 minutes a woman died after a tree fell on her home last night. The home is located near Parnell Avenue and Proctor Lane. It's north of Lake City limits. Janice Harris just arrived on the scene. She's gathering more information. We'll have an update on newsforjax.com. Within the past 45 minutes, we learned an elderly couple was killed in Berrien County when an oak tree fell on their home. They are 82-year-old Russell Nix and his 78-year-old wife, and another area hard hit, Adel, Georgia. 8 people were killed there. Here's a look at the destruction. Scott Johnson's on the ground gathering information. He will have updates throughout the day on newsforjax.com. A family in northwest Jacksonville is dealing with a tree that fell into their home during severe weather. That home's on Wabash Boulevard near Old Kings Road. Channel 4's Ashley Mitchum's live at the home and shows us just how devastating the damage is from the inside.
Bruce, I'm going to show you that video in just a moment. Now, we can't be inside right now because we have progress being made on the home. We have a couple of nice neighbors who came over here, decided to volunteer their time and their gear to start cutting this tree down and really get it off the power lines. That was a major concern. The tree obviously fell through the bedroom, but was also leaning on the power lines, and JEA had to cut the power to the house altogether. They were worried that a fire might start. So neighbors are getting this tree taken down. They have made some major progress, but the problem is It looks okay from the outside. The inside is total devastation. I want to show you that video. We went inside the home earlier. The tree fell onto a bedroom, right onto the crib, as well as a bed where a mother, her 5-year-old, and 11-month-old were in that room at the time. In fact, the 5-year-old had ceiling rubble all over him. They had to get him out from under there. Now, thankfully, he's okay. He just had a few scratches, but how scary. I can't even imagine that situation. And the family did get out of the home without any injuries, thankfully, besides, of course, those minor scratches. Now, the grandfather who lives here, he did have to go to the hospital. He had some anxiety, obviously a very scary situation for him, and he had already had some health problems, but he's doing okay. So the family right now just very concerned about what's next, but progress is being made.
I just want to tell people, please, when they say that there's a storm coming, don't take it lightly, because, you know, everybody says, oh, it's not going to hurt anything. You never know. That we didn't think anything was going to happen, because with the hurricane, nothing happened, but this was just a storm and something did happen.
Now, the family right now is trying to figure things out. They do not have any insurance. They need help figuring out how they're going to pay for this. Again, it's completely damaged on the inside of this room. That room is a total loss. The whole house is not a total loss, but they're not quite sure how they're going to handle this situation, as well as getting that tree debris out of there and getting the tree down. This man on top of the roof is doing the best that he can, but, you know, we're not sure how much he can do because he's not a professional. He's just volunteering his time. We're live out here in Northwest Jacksonville. Ashley Mitchum, Channel 4, the local station.
Ashley, thank you. We expect to learn this afternoon when schools will reopen in Ware, Brentley, and Pierce counties. Channel 4's Ashley Harding with a look at the flooded roads.
We are in Waycross and we are on Rowell Road. This is one of the roads that was badly flooded and one of the reasons why they decided to close schools for the day. You can see still very muddy. It is still very moist. This is a danger for when school buses try to make their way through to pick kids up. That's why they say it really was just the best thing to close down. And also you can see how much water is still left behind. It's just really taken a while for this to go away. It's considerably better from what it was. We did talk to a young man who shared with us some pictures. This is a picture right here. This is what Rowell Road looked like yesterday. You could see completely flooded underwater. In fact, he tells me he and his sister went skin diving. There's another picture. This shows, again, what it looks like right now, what the conditions are. Too much mud, and that really was the precaution. They did not want to risk anybody getting stuck, any bus drivers getting stuck while they go and pick up students. Some other pictures I want to show you. These are pictures from Doughtery County. This was sent to us by a Channel 4 viewer who asked not to be identified. This shows a truck getting stuck on one of those roads. This is Chicora Road. He tells us that 20 or so families were stuck behind this. He says it happens quite often. He says it's something that the county is aware of and has been aware of since a while, for a couple of days now. So he has some frustration there. But right now, the question now is when Ware County Public Schools will reopen. We are in touch with the county as well as emergency management to try to find out what the situation is, how they're able to take care of this problem, and when kids can be back in class. I'm Ashley Harding, Channel 4, the local station.